Okay, traders, welcome back to the Master Your Trading Mindset movement. We are on day 15 and we're talking all about emotions today. And your emotions are probably one of the most important things to understand about your psychology. And this is probably one of the topics I'm most inspired to share on because I know how much learning emotional management and an understanding of what's going on in your psychology, how much of a profound effect that can have not only on your trading results, but also your life in general. This is probably the topic I'm most inspired to share on. And I think there's a bit of a misconception about the human psychology, about the human brain. People think that you can't understand emotions, you can't understand what's going on in your brain. But the truth is you can, and you can bring it back to a certain few principles, and you can have a deep understanding of what's going on in your psychology, and you can pinpoint specific moments that are leading to specific feelings and emotions, and you can learn how to manage these. You can learn to have the self-awareness of doing that in your life. I know studying psychology and human behavior and learning these principles has probably been the greatest gift that's been in my life because it's had a huge effect on trading, on my trading, on my life in general, on business, on relationships, etc., etc. So my hope with these particular lectures, now we're going to talk a little bit about a general overview of emotions today, and then on the next few days we're going to talk about specific emotions. We're going to talk about this, some of the more common and specific emotions that traders experience and how you can manage those specifically. So today's going to be a little bit more of a general overview of the principles, and the preceding days we're going to get a little bit more granular and specific. Now, let's do a little bit of a recap of what the Master Your Trading Mindset movement is all about. Every day for 30 days in December, I'm doing a video a day helping each and every single one of you master your trading mindset. The truth is, traders know how important psychology and mindset is, but I'm afraid that a lot of people don't put the time, energy, or effort into empowering that part of their trading. And they find themselves in vicious cycles of trying to refine and tweak their strategy without ever addressing the root cause of a lot of their challenges, which a lot of the times is their psychology. So over these 30 days, I want to give you cutting edge insights and understandings on your brain, on your psychology, relative to your trading, and give you tools and give you awareness, give you accountability, give you some level of inspiration to go off and put a focus on leveling up your mindset. Now, if you know anybody else in your trading communities or in your circle that you know would benefit from these lectures, please share them with your friends, your trading friends, share them in your trading communities, and share them on social media. That helps me grow, that helps get the movement out there and get more people focusing on what is most important to focus on as a trader. But without further ado, we're going to dive into this one. I'm going to give you some pretty cool insights that may go a little counterintuitive to what's common out there. But everybody knows that if you follow the common practices, you're going to have common and average results. I'm talking to a very specific subset of individuals out there, who probably want exceptional results. And if you want to do and get exceptional results, you have to do things a little bit differently sometimes. And I think when it comes to your psychology, this is true. So let's get into it. Now, the big problem we're addressing here is the misunderstanding of emotions. The truth is, your emotions are not bad, right? And you should not seek to remove your emotions. You should not seek to get rid of your emotions, but rather you should seek to understand them. And you should learn to understand what they're trying to communicate to you. They're signaling and feedback for something. Let's use that as feedback. Let's use that as a signal. The last message I want to share on this whole YouTube channel and my 12-week program is that you shouldn't have emotions, or you should get rid of them, or you should repress them, or they're bad. That's not at all what I'm trying to communicate, and that's not at all the message I want to get across, because it isn't true. The truth is, the intelligence of your body and your brain is far past what we can come to consciously nowadays. And your emotions are very specific feedback and very specific mechanisms that are trying to communicate something to you. And it's on the individual to understand what their own body and what their own brain is communicating and learn to use that as feedback. And that's what I'm going to open your mind to in today's lecture. Now, I talk about this in detail in my 12-week program. I have my complete masterclass in there. So if you resonate with these principles, you're going to love what I share in there. But your emotions are feedback or signals, and I really encourage you to see them this way. They're not bad. They're not something you want to get rid of, but you want to learn to use them as the feedback signals they are, interpret why they're there and what they're trying to communicate to you. The intelligence of the body slash the brain is incredible, okay? Now, I want to use a little bit of an analogy here. We're going to talk about the human body. This may resonate a little bit more with some of you, and you may help understand this particular principle. But let's imagine you go out on a night out and you eat a lot of fatty, sugary food, you consume a lot of alcohol, you consume everything that you know you shouldn't be putting into your body. Sugars, fats, alcohol, those types of things that poison your body. If you wake up the next morning and you have a headache, banging headache, a sore stomach, extremely gassy stomach, right? You got extremely oily skin, you maybe even have acne, may have broken out. If you have those symptoms, right? If you go down the conventional path in today's society, what's happening is we have those symptoms and we go to a doctor or we go to medication to treat the symptoms. And we go and get something to work on the headache. We go and get something to work on the oily skin. We get something to calm down our stomach and to get rid of the acne. And the current model we have is let's go and treat the symptoms through medication. Okay? Now, in my opinion, that's a little bit backwards. And this is where it gets a little bit, controversial. In my opinion, treating the symptoms is a little bit backwards. Why not use those symptoms as feedback of the actual root cause and address the root cause? Because what we're doing here is we're getting necessary feedback from the body. It's giving us the symptoms to point out, hey, what you did last night doesn't align with me. It's not right for me. But what we're doing is we're ignoring that causal relationship there, and we're going to try and get rid of the very symptoms that are trying to communicate to us the root cause. And we're trying to get rid of the very symptoms that are trying to make us aware of the actual root cause of the situation. The truth is the body is extremely intelligent in the way it reacts, however we get in its way. So I'm using this as a bit of an analogy. The symptoms are pointing out to us the poor eating habits we had the day before. And the symptoms shouldn't be looked at as bad, or we shouldn't try and get rid of those symptoms, but rather we need to use those as feedback to eat more wisely and not consume the foods that led to those symptoms in the first place. And I want to use this as an analogy for our emotions as well. Let's swap out the eating and the acne and the oily skin for an emotion. And we can use that same example as an analogy for our emotions. When we have an emotion, it's not something that's bad, it's not something that we need to repress or get rid of or have medication to treat necessarily, but rather it's a feedback making us aware of a very specific thing. And I'm going to share what that feedback is in a second in this lecture, but I want to use that as an analogy of the body is the intelligence. We, because of social programming and a lot of the crap in society nowadays, we get in the way of the very intelligence of our body. And rather than trying to see these emotions as bad and punishing yourself for being emotional or trying to get onto things that get rid of those symptoms, those emotions, we need to learn to uncover what the root cause is that's driving them and address the root cause. And let's get into that now, okay? So the question here is, are the symptoms health or disease? And personally, you make that choice for yourself. You make the choice which direction you want to go down. Personally, I think it's wiser to see the symptoms as a healthy biological feedback and response to actually get to the root cause of what's driving those symptoms, okay? So the key here is understanding the brain's intelligence. Your emotions are feedback mechanisms of an incomplete awareness, okay? The emotion pops up when you are only seeing one side of the picture and you're only seeing a certain part of an experience and you're ignoring the other part. The emotion is there to make you aware that you have an incomplete awareness in that particular moment. Let's get a little bit deeper on this. I'm going to explain this in a little bit more detail. When you're in the market and you experience a painful loss, you have a perception of the market hitting your stop loss, and in that moment you experience pain, negative, challenge, bad, and as a result you have that negative painful response. Substance P is released, cortisol may be released, adrenaline may be released, these survival responses kick in and we have a painful experience in that moment. What's actually happening in our mind is you're aware of all the drawbacks, the challenges of that event, right? You're aware consciously of how the stop loss, the market moving and taking a stop loss out challenged your values, it challenged your expectations and your fantasies, and it challenged your ability to get funded or have profitable results for that month. But in that moment, you're also unaware of the benefits and support. You're unaware of how that experience actually helped progress you as a trader. And the emotion is the very feedback of that incomplete awareness. Now, this may seem a little bit crazy to some of you. The truth is, you need to go and improve it for yourself. You need to see it. I've seen this over and over through the 12-week program. I pass on a set of questions that help you see the other side of events. And all of a sudden, when you awaken yourself to what you're initially unaware of in the subconscious mind, the emotion's no longer there. And the reason the emotion's no longer there is because now you've completed your awareness, and there's no need for that emotion as the feedback of the incomplete awareness. Okay, so there's a very particular exercise that I want each and every single one of you to do over these 30 days. Get it done sometime this year so you can start implementing this into your trading plan, to learn how to manage and mitigate the emotional volatilities and the swing of taking a loss, being in pain, being in shame, and then being too fearful to act when the next position comes around, going away from your trading plan and those emotions spiraling and ultimately affecting your ability to have consistent results. So you want to know what's going on in your mind. You want to know how to manage that. You want to have great questions to bring balance to your mind so you can manage those particular emotions. So you want to be implementing this. And the question here is, how can I use this feedback wisely? The wisest thing you can do in this situation is ask quality questions to bring balance to your mind and to expand your awareness over a particular situation. You perceive a loss in the market. Okay, great. Initially, you're experiencing that painful response, that painful emotion, which is the feedback telling you in that moment that you're only aware of the drawbacks, you're unaware of the benefits in that moment. So the question you want to be asking yourself is, what are the benefits in this moment? How is this experience actually helping me grow? And what you'll realize when you go back to your most painful losses and actually ask the question of how did this benefit me, is you'll see that the painful losses are usually the times that you have the greatest driving forces to make refinements in your plan and to tidy up your processes and to be more open and teachable to continue to learn. And what you find is a lot of the challenges and the painful losses are the greatest catalysts of growth. But you don't want to intellectualize this. You want to actually go back to very painful moments and ask, what are the benefits? What were the benefits of this? And go and have a look at what the benefits were in that moment. So too, a quality question when you take a win and you have a very positive emotion and you're elated and you're in a state of pride, which is feedback that you're aware of the benefits, unaware of the drawbacks. And remember, it's important to bring your pride down, because if you're extremely proud, like we're going to talk about in a future lecture, you're not going to listen to the market. You're going to think you're better than the market. You're going to project onto the market. The market's never wrong. You're going to get humbled. So it's important to self-regulate and manage both fear and greed, pride and shame, winning and losing, so you get back to being present and get back to your trading plan. So when you take a win, a quality question is, what are the drawbacks in this situation? How can I ground myself and humble myself so I don't need to be humbled by the market? I would much rather take a win and then use these questions to ground myself so I can get back to my trading plan, get back to listening to the market, being level with the market, than taking a win and then being so proud that I project onto the market and then get humbled through painful losses. This game is all about self-regulation. It's all about having quality questions that bring you back to balance so you can get back to your trading plan. And guess what? The emotion is the perfect feedback that you're not in balance, you're out of balance, you're unaware. And that's where you have the questions here. Painful emotion, great. I'm aware of the drawbacks, unaware of the benefits. What are the benefits in this moment? How is this serving me? How is this helping me? How is this helping me grow? And positive emotion, extremely elated, great. I'm aware of the benefits, unaware of the drawbacks. What are the drawbacks? What are the disservices? What are the risks? How is this stunting my growth? Using these questions to self-regulate, to get yourself back to a state of equilibrium so you can get back to your trading plan, you get back to your processes, you can get back to your higher functions in your brain and make rational decisions. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Now we're going to break each of these emotions down in preceding lectures to help more, but I want this overview here. I want you guys to understand this. When you expand your awareness and bring balance to your mind, the emotion is no longer there, because the emotion is feedback of an incomplete awareness, of a shrunken mind, of an incomplete mind. Okay, a little bit of a summary here. Your emotions are feedback or signals of an incomplete awareness. They are not bad things. They're not something that you should try and get rid of. Just like you don't want to get rid of the symptoms in your body, they're making you aware of certain things. You want to ask quality questions that expand your awareness and bring balance to your mind. And these are self-regulating questions. These are self-balancing questions so you get back to your trading plan. When you do this, you are now balanced, steady, and poised, and you're in the best possible position to make consistent profits as a trader because you're, what is my trading plan? What's the market communicating? And you execute if the market aligns with that. Okay, so if you resonate with this particular lecture, make sure you subscribe, make sure you turn notification bells on, and you're gonna like the next few. Please share it with your friends and your trading communities, get this out there, get a new awareness for trading mindset so traders are in the best position to have the most successful 2023 yet. And if you resonate with this lecture, you wanna be checking out the 12-week program. We currently have a 7-day free trial. That's a mind blow. The things you learn in there, the tools I give you in there to help manage your psychology will take everything to the next level. Okay, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. We'll speak soon.